He's going to meet us, and then he's going to be like, right, well, I'm not watching that again.
Yeah, these guys are trash. Like, this is what they're like in person. Hawk.
If that's how you need to stop him if you're playing against him, you just knock his cup of tea off the table.
Nah.
Deprive him of caffeine.
I'd forfeit.
Yeah.
I'd call a judge. I didn't actually have the turret for this one.
I didn't have the correct guns.
Yeah,
right.
So had to switch that out, and I magnetized it. So
that is one of the most satisfying sounds in 40K.
Isn't it? Like,
is a chunky magnet.
Love it. Beautiful. Hi everyone and welcome to the Warhammer Podcast. We're your hosts, Jack
and Dan.
Today we're going to be talking about a little tournament that we're going to, a little GT.
Our first GT of the year. I mean,
2024.
Yeah, half the year's already gone, but we finally pull the fingers out. Yeah.
Finally got there. We're finally doing something. So yes, but first I do want to mention something real fast. We've just hit 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much. Yeah, honestly, we didn't think we'd get this far this fast.
No,
which is great. We hit like 1,000 and we were over the moon.
Yeah,
and then I think we blinked and it's like 1,500. So
yeah,
a massive thank you. Really do appreciate it.
Yes.
All your support is really helping out. All your engagement. Through the roof. Thank you so much.
It's really nice. Feels like we're building a little corner of the community here, which is lovely. Lots of nice positivity. So please keep it going.
Yeah.
So if you haven't subscribed already, please do.
Please.
And get all your friends to, get your mum, your gran, everyone. We'll take anybody.
The statistics say it's the people who go into the Warhammer shop the most is like middle-aged females.
Yeah, it's women between 35 and 50 or something. Yeah.
Get that percentage of women up.
We're going to target that Mumhammer network.
Yeah. And there's a whole market that we're missing here. We need to go into that audience. We divulge as always.
Didn't take us long again, did it?
No, not at all.
Been back literally 2 minutes and we've already gone for the tangent.
Oh yeah, because we've been off for a few weeks. So
yeah.
Well, thank you so much again.
Yes, but also we are attending our first YouTubers tournament in August, which is watch out for a dedicated little, not a long podcast, but short form video on that. Yeah. This is organised by a guy called Nick Beer. His channel is IDIC Beer. Yeah, Idic Beer. We'll put his link in the description. But really excited to be going down there and meeting some of the YouTubers as well. Mm-hmm. And that's not all, is it?
No, it's not. We've got another thing coming up. So we're going to be appearing on the Inquisition, a little podcast run by Duncan Casey.
Yes, Duncan Casey, good lads. The Inquisition is a really nice little podcast. It happens on Instagram Live. It's also then goes onto YouTube.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll obviously be sharing the details nearer the time. So we'll really appreciate if you could join us on that.
Again.
And you guys, you've been bonding with Dunk over a shared hobby that isn't Warhammer.
It was just yesterday. I don't know if I can see it, but I'm a little bit red again because I think I'm harder than the sun every single time I go out. But it was just fishing. So I was out fishing and then we started chatting and then just turns out he was fishing at the same time. Yeah. And I was like, messaging him, I was like, I'm doing this, you're doing that. And it was actually quite nice.
It was one of those happy coincidences.
It was. So again, I'll put all the links to their channel in Instagram in the comments below.
Yes.
So please check them out ahead of time. It would be great to get your support.
Definitely go and give them a follow on Instagram. They're really good guys.
Yes. But yes, so our first GT of 2024, the Northeast Open.
The Northeast Open. Long-term viewers of the podcast will know that one of our very first podcasts was about last year's Northeast Open.
It was, yes. A couple of the funny stories that came from it as well.
And we've also since then had on the podcast as a guest Ricci Lowe, who organised it. So definitely go and check that one out. Yeah. It's going to be a long description, I feel, but I'm going to put a link to that in the description as well because it's very, very funny. Yeah. Ricci,
good stories.
Ricci just spilled the beans, didn't he? Told us some.
Actually, to be fair, I've got something I have to admit, which I've got later on, so I'll not say it now.
All right, okay.
I owe Ricci something, which I don't think I've told him.
Right, class.
We'll get onto it later, though.
So the Northeast Open, it's the big event of the year up here in Northeast England. Yeah. It's a 2-day, 5-game GT. I think it's over 100 players this time.
It is. He's up there now,
isn't it?
Really good.
And it's run by Majority T3, which is mainly is Ricci's company. So go and check out Majority T3. They're not on Instagram, or they are, but they're not really. But they're mainly on Facebook.
Yeah. Grab the name.
Yeah.
Smart thing to do.
Yes. So what factions are we taking?
So I was humming and hawing about this for a while because obviously I love my Necrons and I brought them last time and I'm a big Necron player. I've got all the models and I love them. But as you can see, I've got my Knights. and
these beautiful.
They're looking good. I'm happy with how they're turning out. And it's a new army. You know, it's something new. It's fresh. You know, it's a new year, new me.
Yeah.
You know, because I personally think everyone out there should have a new army every year.
Yeah.
That's my belief. That's not. Don't do that. But no, honestly, I think I'm going to bring knights this time.
So you bought, built, and painted your knights army, an entire new army, in less time than it took me to build about 1,500 points of Drukhari. I still haven't got 2,000 points of Drukhari paint.
I'm definitely getting there. There's a couple of, I look at it there now and I'm like, oh, I've missed this, I've missed that. But, you know,
they look gorgeous,
They look good when I'm looking down on them. So there's a few more things I want to do to them, but I think I'm going to bring knights this time round.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see them on the table. And I think this meta seems to suit knights.
Which is great. Yeah. I hadn't planned this. Obviously, if you look back a few podcasts, I've been wanting humming and hawing about knights for a while.
He's a filthy meta chaser. Give him hell in the comments.
I'll block you all.
I'll block you all.
But yes, no, definitely knights. Again, as you just kind of said there, look, they're looking handsome in the new edition.
Lush.
They've got some new nice little rule changes. So big ones can do actions on objectives and also shoot.
Yes.
Looking nice, looking good. So
you can walk through walls.
With the big ones. Little ones can't, but big ones can.
Which it needs to be on this because the terrain's so dense in this new in this new Prior Nexus.
Bit nervous for it.
But that's going to suit you.
It is. What about yourself? What are you bringing?
I did think long and hard about bringing the Necrons because I've nearly got them all painted and they would look good. But I've been struggling to make Drukhari work, so I want to take Drukhari.
Good.
I'm going to take my Dark Eldar. I've spent quite a lot of time this year painting them, and they're starting to look okay. The painting skills are developing. So.
Mate, you put the photos in the chat and everyone's like, that looks really good.
They're a decent tabletop standard now, which is as good as I can do. So I'm happy with that.
Mate, underselling yourself as always.
It's been a very, and I don't want to digress here because we've got lots to talk about, but painting Necrons is a relatively low skill floor, I think, because you can pick it up quite easy, can't you?
Oh, hurt me so
hard.
Well,
no, you can still go. You can still make them look really good. But I think to get them to tabletop standard is quite good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some nice. I mean, to be fair, when I first started, I thought it was a minefield. If I'm
it was absolutely when it first started. Yeah.
Now that I'm into it, it's literally just like you could literally just spray it black. Dry brush silver, null oil, and you're pretty much golden.
This look quite good.
This is looking good.
It's a few colours to make it pop, like contrasting colours.
I grab a shade to like dull down like some of the parts and some areas. Make it look really good. But like you then look at some. Sorry, I'm getting diverging here. But then you look at some of the Necrons that actually like make the correct metallic color. I just, oh my god, it's so good, so good. But
I thought I've spent a lot of time this year getting other people to paint my Necrons, and I've been painting my Drukhari. So I'm going to bring my Drukhari.
Good,
and I'm struggling with them. So I think I'm like, right. If there's a time to learn through failure, then it's a GT, isn't it?
It's a valid point though, isn't it? Because last time I went, it was some really good players there. I learned loads playing against loads of different players, and they were all very good old people. But it was just learning from the best. It was just really good.
You do learn more from even if you get an absolute thumping. Sometimes you learn more from that than you would do from a win.
Definitely.
So in terms that leads us nicely on to why we're going. Why the hell are we going?
Why are we going?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Just to make the numbers up. Yeah.
Don't let Ricky hear that. Ricky, if you're watching, we're sorry. But no, honestly, I mean, why are you going down? What's your main reason?
I think I said to get some reps in for the new Pariah Mission deck. I think I've only played 2 games of the new deck so far. And learn through failure. I'm still. I do think Dark Eldar have got a much higher skill ceiling than Necrons. So they're very good in the meta at the moment.
Yeah.
But in the hands of very skilled players, and I'm not one of those yet. So I just need to get some reps in.
You'll get the practice in. Yeah.
And looking forward to meeting some new people. In particular, Mark, who is one of our staunch supporters on Instagram. His Instagram is Mark in the Grimdark. And he's been a lovely support of the channel.
Yeah.
Good crack as well. Like we have some good banter with him on there.
Very nice.
And he's coming down to Scotland with a bunch of his pals. I mean, I think if it's more than 5, it's technically an invasion, isn't it? From Scotland?
Yeah, we should beat him. We should beat him in this event. Me and you versus them 5.
Yeah, but this is one of the cool things of like, we started this just to because we love the hobby and just to shit about it. But meeting people online like Mark and now getting to meet him and hopefully roll some dice with him or some of his pals, I'm really looking forward to
It's
that.
like the next level up, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like for us, it's like obviously again we started this just because we like the hobby, we like talking about it, but actually now getting other people involved who are watching us, it's like, oh, this is a different level now. This is a strange transition for me specifically.
But he's going to meet us and then he's going to be like, right, well, I'm not watching that again.
Yeah, these guys are trash. Like, this is what they're like in person. Hawk. It's an old meme, but I love it. And I'll die on my hill.
Yeah, I will love that too. Good. What about you? Why are you going?
A few different reasons. Well, 3 different reasons, but for a few very similar. So look, last year I thought it was great. I really loved the event. Yeah, it was well run.
Lovely vibe, wasn't it?
It was, it was for me, and I think this is taken for granted. There was plenty of space. God, honestly, the spacing between the tables, a lot of time you're kind of squished in a lot of rooms that are just boiling and such.
Pack you in, don't they?
They really do. But in that sort of, that's how it is. It's hard to find a venue that can sustain up to 100 people. But this venue, been there before, but it's a massive hall, lots of space. The tables are spaced out. There's plenty of chairs, and it's just that in itself, just for me, makes the vibe a lot more relaxing. Yeah. I'm not like bumping into anyone. I'm not apologizing 700 times to someone next to us when I'm trying to move past them. Yeah. I mean, your entire table fell, and there was still time for people to still get around you. Yes. I'm sorry to bring that up again.
I know.
Flash from the past, that is.
I know. I think we still haven't glued one of those Necrons back together.
But honestly, the vibe's good. Good players, well run as well. It's very smooth. I think there was no issues last time. No, it was just nice and
good people, good vibe. The whole thing was mint.
It really was. Another thing, I mean, I just love playing Warhammer. At the end of the day, like I've really missed out. I've been really busy over the last few months. I've not played enough Warhammer, so booking myself in for an event almost forces me to play.
You've got to
which
get
is
some
good.
Practice games in and stuff. And I fully agree. It's the irony of starting a podcast is when you start it, I don't think you realise how much time goes into it. And that's your Warhammer time, isn't it?
That's it. Because again, you forget when after you get a new army, you got to build it, you got to paint it, you got to. I mean, I've magnetized all mine, and oh my god, they're amazing when you magnetize them all. It's great, but it's just more time that you forget gets absorbed by other things. And obviously, I go out fishing as well. So
yes, you've got too many hobbies. You need to stick to just Warhammer.
I can't.
Fishing podcast when?
What's it? Fishing for sixes?
Yeah, nice, lovely. I love it.
One, yes.
Other reasons you want to come?
Absolutely. It's just been great meeting people. Ricci mentioned before. Again, you get absorbed like building what you've done. I forget that there's other YouTubers out there and like other people who want to come see us. So again, meeting Mark and such would be lovely to see.
Oh yeah, totally.
Playing other armies, I know I briefly mentioned it before, so I'll not go much more into it. Just learning more about different armies is really fun.
I think it's brave to take a new army to a tournament, but it's also the best way to learn. Absolutely.
Thrown in the deep end. Just like, right, what am I doing? And luckily with Knights, I don't have that many models, so I don't have to, even though I might spend a little bit longer thinking, moving them just pop up. Yeah, it's done super fast.
Yeah, I like that. I've got the opposite issue. Is you've got it's complex because I've got lots of pieces of lots of chess pieces on the board, and I need to make sure I move them right. But it's also forgiving because if you misplace one, you've got a bit of redundancy.
That's it.
Whereas you're the opposite. Your actual movement phase is quite quick, but you've got to think about where they're going because you misplay a big knight.
Exactly, he's going to be gone. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. And actually, lastly, it's a bit of a strange one. Just about a week and a half ago, I watched a Vanguard's tactic video.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I love what he does. I love how his mentality about it. But this video must have went under my radar because it came out a while back. But so watching it, it's just him talking about the Warhammer Fest and like his experience with like a player who was. Again, it's hard to say cheating because there's no like a solid proof, but he was getting his army rule wrong. Yeah. Now this bloke who was there, he wasn't there to. He was like he had like the t-shirt on, so it's clearly not his first game of Warhammer. He had like a sponsored t-shirt and he was there, but for the entire tournament, I think it was like the fourth game in, he's just getting his army rule on. And he challenged them, be like, "Oh well, have you been playing this way all the entire time?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you've been playing wrong the entire time," and it's like a core rule to his army. That one's kind of hard to get away. If it was a stratagem that you read wrong, it's kind of like, oh yeah, sure. Well, it's a one-time stratagem that you might get wrong every now and then.
Yes, we talk about this a lot. There's a lot to remember. And people are occasionally going to get some things wrong, but there should be things on the edges rather than like edge cases rather than your core rules. Shouldn't they?
Yeah, and he was just talking about like the competitive mindset about it and like how he plays Warhammer because he wants to get better, but he really respects like the rules and like how like someone was getting a rule wrong. It was like, well. he got a rule wrong, and he challenged it the right way. He literally said, "I am pretty good with the rules,
yes,
but I'm going to challenge him on the rule." And be like, I don't think that's how it works. This is how it works.
Yeah.
The opponent then opposed him, was like, no, this is how it works. And even though he's of Vanguard tactics, I would never argue with him.
No.
But he just took himself out and was like, all right, cool. Look, I'm just going to get a judge.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you just handle this? And then the judge did favor him, but that's not the point. The judge made the call.
Yes.
He didn't have an impact on what the judge was going to say.
Yeah.
He just said, this is the situation. This is what's happening. This is the rule. Could you just have a look at it?
That's when you need a judge. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's something good to mention again before we go to tournaments, especially with friends and people that you play with. Just if you are in that situation, it's not a negative thing to get a rule right.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you're playing according to the rules, because if you're not, then one player might get an advantage over the other.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And especially, with this kind of tournament, I spent time building, I spent time painting, I spent time practicing. And to go to a tournament to get cheated or to get rules wrong, that's one of the fundamentals of playing the game. So I was a little bit inspired by it, just be like, well, look, I'm actually really looking forward to it, just to kind of have a good game, learn as much as I can, and don't see getting the judges as a negative, to see it as a positive, because could you look at this, because I'm really interested in how this works.
It's a contrast. That was the first GT we went to, and I didn't feel I had an issue with a player who has a track record, let's say, of not just getting rules wrong, but blatantly cheating.
Yeah.
And he was playing Necrons and did something which I knew was not allowed.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the confidence to go and get a judge.
That's it.
But I don't want this to sound wrong, because I ended up on the top tables at Warhammer Fest for 2 games, game 2 and game 3, and so I could see Stephen Box from Vanguard Tactics out the corner of my eyes, and he was very animated, because I'm setting up game 3 and I'm thinking, I could see him in game 2, and I thought game 3, before I start, I'm going to go over and say hello because I wanted to meet him.
Well, that's it.
But he did not look like he was in the kind of mood to be.
Fair.
Because he was obviously having this experience.
And
there was a couple of times when he had a conversation at length with the judges in between the games.
Yeah.
For the same reason. But I think, if you imagine from his perspective, like all the things you've talked about, he's at a level where the players at his level are going to tournaments to win them, and to come up against something like that, where players are either getting something wrong or deliberately looking for an advantage. Yeah, it must be very frustrating.
Well, exactly, because again, you put in a lot of time in before you go to these tournaments, just to have fun, and then people are getting stuff wrong, and at that level. Again, I wouldn't say this kind of tournament isn't restricted to anyone. Like, anyone can come to these kind of tournaments, and I think that's the vibe. But it's like people are going there to win, but also to have fun.
Yes.
And it's like, right, well, we're not. No one's there to get cheated. And I think that's the main difference. Everyone's there to have fun. Any sort of person can come to this kind of tournament. It's all about just ensuring that everyone who's playing is playing fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
And the standard, I think this year is probably going to be even higher at the Northeast Open. It's attracted a lot of good players.
Right, me and you, we're looking good.
But with that in mind, what's your game plan?
Game plan wise, shoot to kill.
Yeah,
I'm bringing knights that just mainly have all shooting weapons, and I just want to try and just take out as many things as I can. I'm not 100% sure on what the knights can and can't do in a lot of situations, especially with the new deck, which we'll get onto later, because I've still not got yet. But I still haven't got my cards, so I've not really been able to properly look into them. So looking online is great, but I just prefer having something a bit more physical.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly when it's new, you want something in your hand that can quickly reference, don't you?
100%. Yeah. So I guess a quick run through my list. I'm bringing the Knight Castellan.
Nice.
So he's the big guy, 500 odd points. He's just got loads of guns, loads of weapons. And I'm just like, right, he's there to just hold my backfield. I'm giving him the enhancement to give him sticky objectives.
Nice.
Just so that I have that extra little bit of flexibility.
Just a bit of flexibility,
If my front knight falls, I can then move him up to support.
Right.
So that's what he's going to be primarily there for. And then I've got the other knight. I've quickly changed it to the Knight Warden, which is I think this one here. Again, just because I didn't actually have the turret for this one.
I didn't have the correct guns.
Yeah, right. So had to switch that out, and I magnetized it.
That is one of the most satisfying sounds in 40k. Is a chunky magnet.
Love it. Beautiful. So bringing this guy again, more shooting really, and I want a little bit more melee, just because he's going to be moving up front with a lot of the Arbingers. So I want to make sure that he's got a bit of shooting capabilities, and obviously the big metal gun that he's got it's going to do much more damage when it gets closer. I love it. And then after that, you can bring in 6 armigers with the 4 the Warglaves and the 2 Helverins. I'm still learning the names.
Warglaves are the melee and the Helverins are shooting. Is that right?
That's it. Yeah, I played one game of all 6 of the Warglaves, and I just felt like I wanted that extra,
a bit of extra shooting,
extra punch. Yeah, from a distance.
And they're good. They have got a little bit of punch. A little bit of shooty punch. The Helverins, and obviously they're battle line, aren't they? Which is important in this meta.
That's it, exactly. So I thought I'll bring 4 of them, 6 of those, just to kind of help out with that one as well. And last but not least is the Vindicar Assassin. So I really like him. Now, there's people saying the other ones are better where you can like deep striking and such, but I really like this one because he just has really cool shooting ability. And I just really want to scare people. It's like he gets like if he rolls like a 6 or whatever, it's like mortal wounds or whatever like that, and like it's like 6 damage. It's like D6 damage plus 6 or something along those lines.
He's a proper sniper, isn't he?
He's really good. He's an official sniper, so I'm bringing him. I accidentally ordered 2, and you can only field 1. Right. But I was trying to buy the cards. Couldn't buy the cards. Well, I bought the cards. They're still in post.
Still out of stock.
And I was like, oh, what do? I was like, oh, well, can you just send me like this? And then the Knight Lance I've got behind me, which I bought. Sneak it, hide it.
That's a beautiful model as well.
I know, I need to paint that, but I wasn't going to have time to get this one sorted. But going to be fielding that army because I'm really looking forward to it. And strength-wise, a lot of shooting, quite strong, fast movement. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get around the board and get in the right angles. Weaknesses, I'm worried about options. Again, with the Knights, you have such limited models. Depending on the secondaries that come up, might be a bit...
It could be a little bit limited if you're out of position for secondaries, I guess, yes. And screening's going to be difficult.
I think I'm just going to fob off screening. I think I'm just going to move up.
I mean, the joy of having a beast with loads of guns in your back line is maybe screening isn't as important because if somebody drops in there, you can just overwatch them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep my big Knight back there, so if you want to come from my home field, you can.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, I guess there's not going to be much. It's going to be hard to take him down.
Yeah.
And he's got big OC, so...
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, give it a go. Give it a try.
I'll talk about why I've just accepted that challenge in a minute.
But so that's the army I'm bringing. What about you, Dan? What are you bringing?
As I said, Dark Eldar, but basically what's painted because I've run out of... Sometimes, occasionally, my work requires me to work away, and it's just fallen that last couple of months I've had to work away quite a lot, so I'm behind on the painting again. Swore I wouldn't get in this situation, and yet here we are. Here we are again, Dan. I'm taking the Sky Splinter Assault Detachment because that is the meta one at the moment, but also I really love the play style. Yeah. It's all about lots of little units in boats, and it all centers around getting buffs for getting out of those boats.
And this is the newer one, isn't it? The newer detachment. Yes.
So if you shoot a unit, if you get out of the boat, you get like ignores cover and extra AP.
Yeah.
If you are a melee unit, you get out of the boat, you get Lance, which is +1 to wound.
That is nice.
So I can get a unit of infantry like Incubi or Witches. If they've got Lance, they can be wounding a Knight on 5s instead of 6s.
My baby. Don't do it.
But an Incubi led by an Archon, if you give them a pain token normally allows a unit to reroll all hits in melee or in shooting. But if the unit's led by an Archon, it's reroll all hits and all wounds.
That's really good.
So you can,
So 5s and then rerolls.
Yeah,
that's scary. That's good. Yeah, that +1 to wounds is just really
nice. They are
nice.
very much still more. They go much better into infantry strong like horde lists than they do vehicle lists.
Sure.
But that +1 to wound is massive.
It's big. That's really big. I mean, obviously most vehicles now. I mean, most places armies now kind of field. Do you field a few vehicles and such?
Yeah, so you'll definitely have to have them in vehicles, but the vehicles are made of paper.
Fair.
The small ones, Venoms, can hold 6, like a unit 5 and a leader.
They're fast though, aren't they?
They are fast, 14 inches.
Yeah, quite small as well, to be fair.
Quite small, good easy to hide. Yeah, but they're toughness 6 wounds. They you can chew through them pretty easy.
That's fair.
So the strengths are really fast. We're very good at scoring secondaries. And we've just talked about we've got some decent melee punch. I've got some shooty, but it's not amazing. Weaknesses. Most of my Dark Lances are hitting on 4s. So Dark Lances are the Dark Eldar equivalents of like las cannons, basically. Nice. So strength 12, anti-tank weapons, the damage D6 +2. So they can, if you get them through, they're quite tasty.
That's not bad.
But hitting on 4s can be a bit swingy. And there are ways, obviously, if you can pop smoke to make them -1 to hit. I'm hitting on 5s. All of a sudden, that becomes difficult. Like orc shooting is difficult.
Definitely is, yeah.
So
sounds good, though.
I'm really, really looking forward to giving it a go. I gave it a run out on Friday. Played one in a second game of Prior Nexus, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I need to make some changes to my list fundamentally because it didn't do very well.
Tough army though. Tough army.
Yeah, it was one of my absolute nemesis at the moment. Yeah.
So don't
speaking of practice games, do you feel like you practice enough?
Oh no. I've played none. Absolutely no games.
No games.
So when the cards first came out, I played one game then with a good friend, and we used half of the rules at the time because obviously we weren't too sure fully. The cards had literally got delivered as I rocked up to his house, so it was kind of like, oh well, here's a few points changes here and here, but fundamentally it wasn't really a proper game. And since then it's been far too busy to actually get a good game in. So now I'm a bit worried. It's a kind of a GT. I don't mind getting stomped, but as long as it's like I'm learning, but then I feel like I'm going to get too stomped to actually learn anything.
I would like to have got another 3 games under my belt to take us to 5 or 6. Would have been half a dozen games would have been a bare minimum, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to be going in with 3. If I get really lucky, I might be able to get 2 in next week, maybe 4, so that would be 4.
Yeah.
But it's not enough.
It's really not.
I mean, it's just due to work, we've both had work commitments and other bits and pieces going on.
Busy month.
And stuff. It's been a busy month.
Yeah,
so you just have to suck it up.
Exactly. But still, I mean, we've got natural core goodness,
core competence.
We're gonna read the rules. We're gonna smash it. Talking bollocks, by the way. just to be clear. But so I've got one practice game on the Monday.
Yes.
Against another good friend Dan, and we've got another practice game on Wednesday.
Yes, which is it's podcast bragging rights.
Yeah. So me and Dan have eventually
we haven't actually played for over a year.
It's been crazy, isn't it?
So it's so long you'd forgotten you've even been to my house.
I did.
To roll dice.
I did. I was like,
I've never been to yours.
Yeah, I was like, we talked about never been to your house before. I wouldn't dare. But yeah, honestly, I completely forgot about it. Yeah. And then we've not played in a very long time. No. What's the current score on the door?
It's just one. You've beaten me in the last 2 games we played. Yeah, it's 2-0 to you. Both thumping victories for you. Actually, they weren't even close.
Well, honestly, I had a quick when you said I would play. I looked back at my scores on the app. I was like, oh yeah, it was a pretty good game. Yeah. But I honestly think you might have it in for us.
It's going to be a really interesting game for both of us, and that's what you want to do. Is it's a good army to. Given that we're getting limited practice games, I need to get one into Knights because I haven't played into Knights. But they're very, very contrasting styles. Small, you're small, mobile, and tanky with a lot of firepower and some melee punch, and I'm just going to try and flood the board.
That's it. I feel like I don't have enough. Problems. That's it. I feel like I don't have enough to deal with the swarm armies. Big armies, I think I'm going to be pretty much there. Little ones, I'm going to be scared for. So put a comment in. Maybe let us know who you think's going to win between me and Dan. Our game plans. We might even do a little poll because we can do polls now.
Oh yeah, we can.
If you want to do a little poll on YouTube,
yeah, let's do a poll.
Oh, why not?
You made a good point there. Like if a lot of it comes down to Dark Lances. If my Dark Lances can pop off some of your threats, and then to allow me to get up the board, but also on a lot of the new terrain layouts, they're quite dense, so it will be hard for you to get angles. I think.
Yes,
I can stage quite well.
Yeah, obviously the big ones can see over those units. I think.
Yes, I mean it's true line of sight now, isn't it? So if I can hide, I've got to properly hide.
You do.
Yeah. But so it's going to be really, really fascinating, contrasting styles. So we'll see how it goes.
But that might be good for me because obviously these guys can get around then if that's true line of sight or whatever. I can then they're quite dense. I'll be able to get them around in a good position.
These have got these are nippy little fellows. So yes,
for them fast attacks. So we'll see. Yeah, I think it'll be a good game regardless.
I'm really looking
we'll
forward
try to have a good game. But yeah, we'll put a poll on. We'll post the results, and we'll see who wins. We'll get a little crown. But good. Spot on. But I guess moving on to kind of one of the last things I want to talk about is our expectations of the Northeast Open.
Yes. How many wins would you like?
Any wins. Please. I think I'm hoping for 1. Yeah, I'll be happy with 1. Again, 5 games. 1, I'll be happy with. 2, over the moon with. Any more than 3, I'll consider myself cheating.
How did you? Last time, didn't you win 2? And did you draw 1 as well?
Yes.
Yeah, drew against Barry, didn't you?
Barry, really good game at that point. Yeah. Actually, fair enough, he was playing Knights at the time.
He was Knights, yeah.
So that's interesting.
I think he's taking Chaos Knights this time, yeah.
Yeah, he's just got better.
Yeah.
I mean, since the last year, because that was the first time I met him. Since then, he's just played and played and played. And
he plays
better.
a lot.
It's now I see his name come up I'm like playing against me. I'm like, oh bugger. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
he knows his stuff now. So so I'm actually trying to catch him, get some tips beforehand because I need them with knights.
That's a really good point. Like, it's a great opportunity to talk to more experienced players with a faction and say, you know, what do I need to do here?
Yeah, it was legit. Well, I think that's a time when, at the time, this time last year, I was playing Necrons, and then I seen another person obviously further up the tables than me. Yeah. So I walked up and I was like, oh, like, you know, what are you looking at his army? And I noticed he had like 3 Locust Destroyers by themselves. I said, well, why have you got them 3 by themselves? And he goes, well, they're 50 points each. Oh, sorry, no, 30 points
30
each.
Points, yeah.
And you can have them one by separately. He goes, they're just there to just come in from the sides and get like behind enemy lines, score secondaries. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, it seems so simple, but it just made so much sense speaking it out with someone. So again, knights, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Like, I'm bringing 2 big knights, and people have roughly said that 2 knights, big ones, aren't very good. You want like little ones in like the Knight Lancer. So I'm interested to see what the meta is now, that the rules have changed, and you can obviously shoot and do actions now. So I'm wondering if the meta's starting to move towards bit more big knights than little ones.
And that's, I think, one of the things that made the Northeast Open so much fun last time was it was one of the first GTs that came out, certainly in our area, that came out after, like, if you think Leviathan, everyone got the boxes like end of June, early July, and then this was end of July, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of dropped the same way for Pariah Nexus. So the mission deck's all new, the terrain layouts are all new.
Yeah.
So people are going into it with a bit more of that mentality of like, oh, you know, it's a learning experience, it's going to be fun, rather than, you know, people haven't had time to really hone their lists. So I'm hoping that should give it that same relaxed vibe again this year.
Like a bit more of a chance for everyone to kind of learn the stuff and get a few wins in, I think.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you going for anything big?
Well, before we move on to that, you've got a confession to make, haven't you?
Let's try to avoid that. So yes, it honestly, it only.
I was
clicked.
like, wait a minute, he's just glossed over this bit.
I was like, I mentioned at the start, and I was like, oh, maybe I could just ignore it. But yeah, so I remember because it only kicked in like maybe like 2-3 months after the fact. But obviously when you were there, the host was great. You know, it was really, Ricci was really good. But you can get a cup of tea.
Yes.
And all you need to do is put your name down for it.
It was on an honour system, wasn't it?
Honour system, put your name down for it. And I had a cup of tea, put your name down, and then you like give the money later on.
Yeah.
I just completely forgot.
You just drank all the tea and paid them
no
money.
I stole a cup of tea from Ricci, and I feel awful. So I'll either owe him a cup of tea or I'll pay him double for the next cup of tea that I've got. So that's my little confession. So if you're watching, Ricci,
absolutely thief.
I'm sorry, I'm a tea thief, and I'm proud. But yes,
Jack's a complete tea addict. So even if he hadn't, even if the tea hadn't been free, you still would have stolen it.
I probably would have. Yeah, honestly, I mean,
need my tea.
I do need my tea. If I don't have my cup of tea in the morning time, I'm a different man. I'm a chaos man.
Yeah. If that's how you need to stop him if you're playing against him, just knock his cup of tea off the table.
Nah.
Deprive him of caffeine.
I'd forfeit.
Yeah.
I'd quit. I'd call a judge. I'd make your day miserable.
I mean, I'm a bit the same as you. I think because of for all the reasons talked about there, I think it's going to be. I do think there's going to be a higher proportion of very good players there this year. So I think 1 game I'd be happy with that. 2 would be outstanding, but I'll take 1. I think we managed 2 last time. I did. Was 2 and 3. You did 2, 1 and 2, didn't you?
Yeah.
But 2 would be like S tier. Yeah. I'll take 1 and go home a happy man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm also expecting quite a lot of melee armies, and I'm hoping that might work in my favour because we trade quite well against melee armies, and that could work in my favour. I've got small units that can take down bigger units, and then obviously die to the next whatever comes next. But that could go quite well.
Nice.
So we will see. I'm having to tweak my list. Partly because I'm lazy. I have an aircraft that's painted a Void Raven bomber, and it's like 200 odd points. So I chucked it in my list because it meant I had to paint less.
Fluff up the list a
bit, just bump it up a little bit. But it's just bad. So I'm in 2 minds at the moment. I might take it and gamble that there will be, because it goes into Space Marines really well.
Oh, nice.
It's like damage 2, dark sides, 10 shots. It can pick up a unit of 10 Space Marines, no bother. Nice. So if it is going to be like an infantry heavy meta, I would take it. But you don't know, do you? So
that's it. Yeah. That's it. It could be a very big mix. It could be.
So I might put some Talos back in there, which have got a bit. They've got Haywire, so they're a bit better into our vehicles.
Yeah.
They've got damage 3 claws, so they're quite good in melee, and they've also got flamers, so they're quite good against
Nice.
Yeah, so they're a bit more all-rounder units.
Yeah, I was going to say quite.
So I'm probably going to play it safe and take the Talos.
Yeah,
and then I'll just regret that.
You get them
when I get there.
Why have I done this for? This is trash. Yeah. Nah, but no, it's we're going to get a list uploaded by Thursday.
Yes.
So about 4 days time.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, I will have just have uploaded our list.
Yes.
Because which is basically a couple of days before the tournament.
Yeah.
We're really surprised that the pack actually came out about 2 weeks before the tournament, which is unheard of for Ricky, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We love you, Ricky.
I was surprised.
He's normally pure chaos. I think the pack dropped last week about 4 or 5 days before the GT or something. Everyone's like, "Where is the pack?"
I think everyone was just worried though because it was like, "Oh, bugger! Like, your people want to practice and get understand it." But then, like, when the pack came out, I think everyone was just like, "Have I missed it? Where is it? Where is it?" And then Ricky's like sitting there like, I release it when I want to.
It's coming. Just
relax. Yeah. But you always get it sorted, which is good.
But yes, so I think you can tell, we're both really excited about this one. We thoroughly enjoyed it last time.
Yeah.
We met some cool people, rolled some dice, won some games, lost some games, learned loads, and this year, hopefully, it should have the same vibe.
Definitely.
So there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how your knights do on the table.
Me too.
And I've only played into them a couple of times. Chaos Knights. I've never played into Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
In this edition, I don't think so.
No, good.
Bring it on.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes, good luck. And we'll let you all know on Wednesday what happens. Now, the thing about it, this podcast will come out on the Friday.
Yes.
So we'll just have the results post on the Wednesday once we've done the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll let you know. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks for watching. As always, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon.
Thank you.